What if I told you that one of history's greatest philosophers, Plato, thought democracy was dangerous, not just flawed, but destined to destroy itself? Today, democracy is celebrated as the foundation of freedom, but for Plato, it was a recipe for chaos, corruption, and ultimately tyranny. So why did he believe this? And what radical solution did he propose instead? Stay with me, because his ideas are going to challenge how you see politics, power, and even freedom itself. Let's rewind to ancient Athens. This was the birthplace of democracy, where citizens could gather, vote, and decide their city's future. But here's the catch. This was also the same system that voted to execute Plato's beloved teacher, Socrates. Imagine that. The wisest man in Athens condemned to death by a popular vote. For Plato, this wasn't just injustice, it was proof that democracy couldn't be trusted. The masses, he thought, were too easily swayed by emotion, rhetoric, and manipulation. Plato compared democracy to a ship at sea. Picture this, a crew of sailors all convinced they should be captain, all shouting conflicting orders, but none of them knows how to navigate. Meanwhile, the real navigator, the philosopher, is ignored, mocked, or even thrown overboard. That, Plato argued, is what happens when you let the people govern. Instead of reason, you get noise. Instead of wisdom, you get passion. And when everyone demands absolute freedom, when there are no limits, no discipline, society collapses into disorder. And here comes Plato's chilling prediction. Democracy doesn't last. It decays. And out of the chaos rises a tyrant, a strongman promising order, only to enslave the very people who empowered him. Sound familiar? Many historians have pointed out just how prophetic Plato's words can feel. So what's the alternative? Plato's answer was not better democracy. It was something radically different. He imagined a society ruled not by the majority, but by the wisest. Enter the philosopher-king. Philosophers, Plato argued, are the only ones fit to rule. Why? Because they seek truth above all. While ordinary people chase money, pleasure, or power, philosophers dedicate themselves to wisdom. And only wisdom, Plato believed, could create a just society. In the Republic, Plato laid out a social system divided into three classes. 1. Philosophers, the rulers, guided by wisdom. 2. Warriors, the guardians, defending the state. 3. Producers, everyone else, farmers, merchants, artisans. Justice, for Plato, was simple, everyone doing the role they're best suited for without interfering in the roles of others. The rulers rule, the warriors protect, the producers provide. No mixing, no competition, just harmony through order. This wasn't a society of equality, it was a society of structure, discipline, and above all, education. Plato knew that philosopher-kings wouldn't just appear out of nowhere, so he designed an education system unlike anything the world had seen. From childhood, future rulers would be trained in music, mathematics, physical fitness, and above all, philosophy. They would be tested again and again, pushed to master not just knowledge, but also self-control and virtue. Only after decades of study would the very best rise to become rulers. Think about that. While today politicians campaign for a few months, Plato wanted leaders trained for a lifetime. But here's the most radical part of Plato's vision. He believed rulers should own nothing. No private wealth, no property, no family ties to corrupt them. Why? Because personal interests would distract from ruling in the public interest. To modern ears, this sounds extreme, maybe even impossible, but for Plato it was the only way to make sure leaders served the people, not themselves. Now let's pause and reflect. Plato thought democracy was doomed to collapse, that the people couldn't be trusted to govern themselves, and yet today, democracy is the most widespread political system on earth. So was Plato wrong? Or are his warnings still relevant? Think about the challenges we face: populism, polarization, misinformation, even the rise of strongman leaders in democratic states. Some might say Plato saw it all coming. So, to wrap it up, Plato hated democracy because he believed it led to chaos and tyranny. His solution: philosopher-kings. Rulers guided by wisdom, supported by a structured society where everyone plays their part. It's a vision that's both inspiring and terrifying, because it raises the ultimate question: do we really want freedom at all costs? Or is true justice only possible under the rule of the wise? Now, I want to hear from you. Do you think Plato was right about democracy's weaknesses? And would you trust a philosopher-king to rule your country today? Let me know in the comments. And if you want to see how Aristotle, Plato's own student, saw democracy, in a very different light, make sure to subscribe.